This was in 2001. I met Theo Pascal, and I was already very interested in music, but I wasn't a professional. So I heard about some auditions for a group, and Theo Pascal, he was the musical director of this group. And I made the auditions, and from there we started working together until now, 2019. We've been developing a lot of music, a lot of different sounds, but also a common sound to both of us, where we can both achieve like a one whole sound together. So when people probably hear of the name Carmen Souza, it's not only one person, it's Carmen Souza and Theo Pascal sound, you know? Because really this became as two people getting together and discovering new things, and always challenging, you know, challenging yourself to find other paths in music and in life. So that's basically our story. Me and Theo, we go into studio, and we don't do pre-production. So what comes is what stays, and because we want to preserve that very natural and spontaneous feeling, you know, and basically that's what we want to achieve with our music, to find that very natural, spontaneous first vision of the music, and then continue developing it. Yeah, because the Wurlitzer, although it's an electric piano, inside it has a lot of metal reeds and mixed with wood as well. And so it's a very interesting mechanism, and it's very organic. And I love the touch of organic instruments, you know, because especially, you know, if you go more to the vintage instruments, which is something that I love. I love vintage guitars, I love Wurlitzers, I love Rhodes, because they all have a character, you know, they've been played extensively, and it seems that the instrument has already something to say, you know. With modern instruments, they are all very well built, but it seems they are all compensated in some way, you know, and anyone can play in it and sound exactly the same, you know, but with vintage instruments you have to create a history with that instrument, own voice, you know. So my parents, they are from Cape Verde, which is on the western coast of Africa, 10 islands, really small islands. And Horace Silver's father was also from Cape Verde. And so we have basically the same background. I grew up in Europe, in a very different setting in which he grew up, because we're talking about the 50s, 60s in New York or Massachusetts. But I discovered that he was doing also the mixture of Cape Verdean music with jazz. And so that is very inspiring to me, and that's why now we have decided to do a album tribute to his music. Well, that's a very interesting characteristic, because, for example, most of the songs, they all come out from, you know, Theo comes out with a bass line, and I follow the sound of that bass line, that melody, and it's almost as if the note in that melody already had a specific word that starts to come together in a story, you know, that I want to tell in the song. And so, you know, sometimes if his playing is faster and more staccato, it will bring me more to the Cape Verdean, the Creole from Praia, which is the main island, the capital city, and that is a very like staccato type of language that I can use. But if it's more mellow and more, you slow or something like that, I can also go to the islands of the island of my parents, which is Santo Antão or São Vicente, where things are slower there, and probably like here in Sicily, Well, about Creology, it's an album where I do the connection between all the Lusophone countries. So you have Cape Verde, you have Brazil, you have Angola, Mozambique. These are all Portuguese language countries, and basically I'm doing a trip among all these places and bringing them all together, and just celebrating this great thing that came out of a bad thing, which is the colonization. But I think that the Lusophony is something that is very rich, and we should be proud of it. Regarding other hobbies, I like to do so many things. I don't know. I can't think of some right now because there are so many things that I like to do. I love languages. I love to speak in different languages and connect to different people. The thing is, when you are a musician, you have the opportunity of doing so many other things, which is traveling, seeing other places. So that is all already marked up from your list of things that you like to do. The idea of love is, I think it's compromise, is being able to respect one another and grow together, I believe. That's more than 2 words, but it's the most compact that I can do, I guess.